Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Brew. It is a Monday edition here live on Brew Sports. We hope your weekend went well for you. And we know, of course, that it is Monday, so many people are just absolutely beside themselves in excitement because who doesn't love a good Monday? Am I right, people? No, I'm sorry. Do I have a little too much excitement for everybody? Jamie, I feel like I've already basically been like, shh, it's Monday. Stop talking so loud. But we welcome you inside the Morning Brew. I am Baxter Colburn. That's Jamie Evers. Good morning, Jamie. How was your weekend?
It was great. I worked. I had a relaxing day yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
And now it's Monday, so ready to go.
Ready to roll, hit the work week in the face.
In the face.
In the face. Yeah. More like a tap, like, hello. I don't want to
I'll have them tomorrow when I'm more awake.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a good show in store for all of you lovely folks today. I will be joined actually here in about another 5 or so minutes by one of our friends of the show, David Kenyon. He works over at Bleacher Report. He's going to help us review all the craziness that took place at the NFL Scouting Combine and give us a little bit of insight into what is going on with the NFL free agency world as well, too. But we'll get to him in just a little bit. We want to remind all of you, of course, that if you are interacting with the show, to comment below here on Facebook, of course. We love hearing from all of you. Good morning to everybody as well watching. And if you want to interact with us as well on social media, I am at Baxter Colburn on Twitter, and I believe you are Jamie.
At Jamie_Evers.
The underscore, I never remember the positioning of it, basically.
Too many E's.
Too many E's, that's right. Now I remember. And then that's, of course, hashtag Brew Sports as well to get involved with the action. All right, Jamie, our What's Brewing segment to kick things off for the week. 3 funny, big, crazy, whatever stories that we like to talk about in the sports world. The first one, I titled it this morning, we're going to talk about islands, ceilings, and Tebow. One of these 3 just doesn't belong here, but I don't know if any of them really belong in any sort of capacity.
I don't think so, but I think that's okay.
I think it is for the most part, but if you remember last week, Thursday and Friday, we talked all about how at the NFL Scouting Combine, players can win an island, courtesy of Adidas, if they use Adidas cleats to break Chris Johnson's 40-yard, 4.24-yard dash record. And somebody did.
He did.
Somebody broke the record. However, there was something interesting about this, Jamie. What was that?
He was wearing FUBUs.
FUBUs?
I'm just kidding.
What? He ran in Ugg boots. Was it Tom Brady? I don't think it was Tom Brady.
No, and he was not wearing FUBUs.
I was like, wait a minute.
I don't know where
Nike
that
doesn't
from.
make a FUBU?
He was wearing Nikes, so he did not get the island.
I'm a little sad by that. However, he justified his actions because people are like, well, why would you not run with Adidas then? You could have won an island. And I thought he was very straightforward with his answer.
Yeah, I don't think that's the actual. I feel like, okay, you can't swim, you don't need an island.
Yeah.
However, maybe your Nikes just fit more comfortably and you don't give 2 shits about an island.
That is certainly possible.
Okay, as much as I say I would love to have an island, I probably don't want
There's
an island.
so much upkeep and so much maintenance about it, honestly.
The taxes probably are not cheap. I can't afford them. He'll be able to afford them.
How many islands do you have frolicking about that you would have to worry about affording?
None.
If you were,
I can't run
I understand.
a 40 in 4 seconds.
I understand that, but I know that. Anyway, so he put it pretty straightforward. I mean, the social media world freaked out. Chris Johnson, of course, was like, hey, way to go. Now there is a new record available. A lot of folks are excited about John Ross as well, too. Kind of sounds like a guy that you would hear in like a TV show, like, The X-Files with John Ross or James Bond featuring John Ross. I don't know. It just seems like a TV name instead of
he's got a good, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm Jonathan Ross. Oh, are you? Are you a spy?
You are.
Something. Either way, it was interesting, too, because the island was valued at about $1 million. So my question would have been, so what if John Ross had broken the record, and then somebody would have come along and broken his record, but had Adidas cleats on?
Do they get to, okay. Oh, you're saying as of the day that he broke. Okay. Well, then he wouldn't get it.
So then the other guy wouldn't have gotten it, though?
But he wore Adidas, so he...
So I'm saying, say I ran the 40, I had Nikes on, I broke the record.
Yep.
Okay, I'm like, woo, but sorry, you didn't have Adidas on. You come by, you run, you beat my record, and you have Adidas on.
I get the island.
I'm assuming so.
Right.
It's not like the first person to break the record.
Do you think that the island is... Okay, oh, okay.
Is it coming together now for you now?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's Monday.
No, I don't blame you.
But... Okay, the first person to beat his record wearing. But it's the first person wearing Adidas to beat his record, not the first person to beat his record.
Yes.
Correct, so I would get the island.
So then you would get the island. Yeah, it's not just the first person. So even though I won wearing Nikes, that doesn't void the whole thing being like, sorry, you don't get it anymore. I guess I make sense now.
Do you think the island is like a tropical, like
I hope
breezy,
so.
beautiful, or do you think it's like a piece of crap?
Well, there's enough.
lump
I'm from
in the
Florida.
ocean?
There's enough islands down just floating around in the Gulf and the Atlantic that I feel like anybody could be like, that's going to be an island.
Okay.
So
I would hope it's the island. If I could run fast, I
yes,
would want it to
the
be the
stipulation
island
if you could run fast. Yes.
with the pigs on it. Have you seen that ever?
With the pigs
There's like
on it?
swimming pigs on this
Wasn't there?
island.
Oh, that was on The Bachelor.
I don't watch The Bachelor.
Okay, well, it was on The Bachelor. They did an episode when there was like little pigs swimming, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, the little pig is!" Yeah, people were freaking out.
That's the island I would want.
Okay, well, maybe you should just go on The Bachelor. I think you'd be a fun candidate on The Bachelor, but that's
I would make it very
That's a
far.
segment for another time. You'd be punching people, and be like, "No, I love him. Get out of here." Like, Jamie's lost her mind. Come back next week. The producers would love that. Be like, "We're gonna get her all the way to hometowns, and then we're gonna see what happens."
I'm great with parents. By the way, if anyone needs someone to meet their parent, I'm your girl.
This girl. All right, moving along from that. Michael Jordan over the weekend decided to go on record to have a fantastic, timeless statement as he was at the UNC Duke game saying that the ceiling is the roof.
Thank you.
In case
No one knew. Thank you, MJ.
There it is, up there. Okay, so the ceiling is to the roof, so factually that is correct. Now,
Yeah, he's not wrong.
some people, of course, some people when you talk about that, people are in the sense saying, well, our ceiling is the sky. Like we have so much potential, we can go anywhere we want to. The sky is the limit, basically. But to basically say, all right, guys, UNC, you're a good basketball team. The ceiling is the roof of this gym.
The floor is the ground.
Also true.
Yeah.
I can feel it right now. Also very true.
I could be MJ.
Maybe you are. You're pretty tall.
Yeah. I am Shaq.
Your
not
fadeaway
MJ.
is pretty killer, honestly. But people have just kind of freaked out a little bit about it and had a lot of fun things to say about it. I don't know. Tyler says he would pay to see you on The Bachelor, Jamie. So take that for what it's worth.
Tyler, get out of here.
I feel like, I think you'd be fun. I think you'd be entertaining. And I think that's more so what people care about than whoever finds love.
All I know about The Bachelor.
You'd be better like a Bachelor in Paradise.
Can I be the Bachelorette? Like, I want men to date me.
You want to deal with all those guys?
I don't want to deal with a guy kissing a bunch of other girls. I want
But you want to be that
guys
girl
kissing
kissing me? There's words for that, Jamie, that we can't say on the air.
But it's on TV, so it's fine. It's like
Hollywood's behind
PG-13.
it. Hollywood's behind it, so
Yeah.
it's completely legal. That's fine. So, do you make anything of the MJ comments? Do you just kind of laugh it off and be like, MJ, you drunk, go home?
Yeah, he's just a little nervous. His
I can
Monday was
understand
that
that.
day. I don't know. There's probably a lot of people there.
Yeah, no.
Give him a break. He's an old man. He's getting old.
He's an old man.
Probably.
He is. That's the thing. He is old. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's fine.
I know. All right, last thing here in our What's Brewing segment is Tim Tebow. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Tim Tebow at least once in the sports week because, good Lord, we would all die.
That's the goal, right? That's their goal.
Tim Tebow for life. Now, I
Hashtag
don't
Tim Tebow
mind Tim
loves drama.
Tebow. I've gone on numerous tangents about Tim Tebow over the year, but apparently, I love this. The spring training leagues are the best names. The Grapefruit League is what Tim Tebow is going to make his debut in when the New York Mets on Wednesday play against the Boston Red Sox down in Port St. Lucie in Florida. It's going to be a Major League Club roster out for Friday's game as well against the Houston Astros. So Tim Tebow is going to get a Major League shot to an extent against, of course, the hallowed Red Sox and then the Astros, who are a decent program as well, too. Do we need to read into this Tebow thing at all, being like, he's finally getting a shot, he's going to be on the Mets roster? I mean, we've had guys on the show this last week telling us, be like, people would be fools to think that Tebow's going to be basically on this roster.
It's like we've said all last week, it's his name. They want... Now, look, we're talking about it. We're talking about it.
We are victims
want.
of you, Tim
Yes.
Tebow. Thank you for nothing.
Tebow.
No, he's a nice guy. He means well.
Yeah. What they want is what's happening.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. It's what they want. So.
Give the people what they want, Jamie. They want more Tebow.
Tebow.
All right, well, let's move along. So that's what's brewing right now. Let us know your thoughts about any of that. With losing an island, would you purposely throw an island if you had a chance to win it? If you couldn't swim, I'd like to know that. Do you think that the ceiling is indeed the roof? Or do you think the roof is on fire? Or do you think, do you think Tim Tebow is going to do anything in the games that he is playing for the Mets Wednesday and Friday? All right, transitioning into the world of the NFL, we get to talk to our good friend over at Bleacher Report, David Kenyon. He joins us on the program now. David, good morning, sir. How are we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you on the program, David. So the NFL Combine just finishing up here a couple of short days ago, and people buzzing, of course, about the usual household names, but you've always been a pretty straight shooter when it comes to the sports world. What's your cut on how the NFL Combine went this week?
Well, obviously, as you guys mentioned, the big story right now is John Ross, wide receiver out of Washington, running that stupid fast 40-yard dash.
Do you remember your 40 time in high school, David?
It was not faster than 5 seconds, which doesn't sound great, but I mean, I don't think people understand how fast that those guys can run, even the offensive linemen.
Yeah, exactly. You talk about those, late 280-some pound to low 300 guys that are hustling even at a 5'1" or a 4'9", and people are like, whoo-hoo, you are cruising for a big man.
My favorite one was Trent Williams, about a decade ago. He's an offensive lineman. He plays left tackle for Washington now. He ran a 4.84.
Wow.
Which I think mine was like 5.03. Like,
Lord.
That is amazing.
Nope.
That's a 300-pound man.
Maybe that was the secret. You just needed to put more weight on, David.
Could be. But Ross, I mean, my favorite part of that whole situation was, is it official or is it unofficial?
Of course.
I don't care. It's fast.
He's fast. That's all we care about. Why do we need to read into it more? And that's the thing, too. We've heard people, as the unofficial times when Leonard Fournette ran his 4.5, and I believe Dalvin Cook ran like a 4.4 or something like that. And people were freaking out like, it's not official yet. I'm like, why are you reporting it then if it's not official? I don't want these ridiculous unofficial times because it can change by a hundredth of a second basically when it finally is released.
And it's not a big deal either way, especially when you're running sub 4.6. A tenth here or there will make a small difference, but hundredths, those are negligible.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that one, too. I mean, and people don't really need to put a lot of stock in the 40 at all, do we? I mean, yeah, we know these guys can run. We've seen them on the college game, especially, a lot of the high-profile players as well, which is like, good, they're fast, they can break tackles, but ultimately, a 40-yard dash time, I feel like isn't going to influence your draft stock too much, or am I completely wrong about that?
Basically, what the NFL teams are looking for in the 40-yard dash is to confirm or refute what you see on tape. You see like Jabril Peppers, for example. He ran a 4.45 yesterday, I believe. Yeah. That just matches what's on his film, and you just want to see that. Or you look at a receiver like Cooper Kupp from Eastern Washington. He ran a 4.62, I believe, and that's a little concerning for the evaluators when you see somebody like Amara Darboh, for example, out of Michigan. He ran like a 4.45, and Kupp is a big possession receiver, but Darboh brings those same qualities and runs faster, and so then that throws a little more discussion into that debate.
Are there any quarterbacks that we should be watching or that you're excited about coming up?
Me personally, I've been a Deshaun Watson bandwagon person, especially this past year because of how much criticism he's taken. And from all the things I read, he really killed the Combine, which is awesome for him. The biggest knock, it's even a little much too repeated at this point, is he can't read a defense. Well, apparently, he knocked out every single interview with the pre-snap part of the game. There is a difference between can't read a defense and predetermining reads, where you're like, yes, okay, I'm going to throw to this guy because I expect this to happen. That's an issue, but it's also one that can be corrected.
Yeah, and I would agree with you on that one, too. I mean, how many times, and we've made this comparison, of course, the one man that continues to come up is Tom Brady. I mean, yeah, he slipped all the way to the 7th round when he was drafted, of course, but guys like him maybe had an okay combine, but the combine sometimes doesn't fully determine how good a player is actually going to be. It's the coaching in the NFL once you finally get that opportunity to showcase what you're all about, basically.
That's the big thing, especially for someone like DeShone Kizer, who over the last year his footwork became a little bit of a problem, which is a little bit surprising because Notre Dame brought back a really good offensive line, especially on one side. They'll have a couple early draft picks next year. But his footwork kind of regressed a little bit, and it was concerning. Part of that was probably the entire receiving corps, led by Will Fuller, who's now with the Houston Texans. They were gone, so they were breaking in a whole new team. And then you get somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who was in an air raid system, and that hasn't translated well to the NFL. But if you get them in the right situation with the right coaches, they might thrive.
Talk to me about who Cleveland's going to draft first overall, because people seem to be in love with Cleveland again, as always, as every single year, drafting a quarterback. But please tell me there's somebody else that's going to actually make this team better.
I do not understand how in the world they do not draft Myles Garrett. I just do not get it. They have the pick at 12 as well from that wonderful trade that the Bills moved up to pick Sammy Watkins while also passing on OBJ, which is a little bit revisionist history, I understand.
Sure.
But with both of those being on the board, the Bills shouldn't have done that at the time anyway. But the Browns, they're in great position to get Myles Garrett and a quarterback if it's one that Hugh Jackson wants. And I'm a big believer in Hugh Jackson. So I think whoever it is, and I'm personally pulling for Watson to fall there, I think that'd be a great fit.
Interesting.
It has to be Garrett number one.
Maybe he's not good at card games or card tricks.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Browns doing these card
bad.
tricks with their players?
It's a big red flag, I understand.
Like, look, you couldn't tell an ace of spades from an ace of clubs or an ace of hearts. I always get the clubs and the spades mixed up personally. But
I mean, that's why you're talking and not throwing footballs.
Exactly. I couldn't get past the Browns interview. If I couldn't get past the Browns interview, that I feel like is a very telling thing. This is what happens, Browns, potential draft picks. If you don't end up doing well, you're going to end up here, basically.
At Bruce Sports.
Exactly. You're going to end up at Bruce Sports, which isn't the worst thing, honestly. But one other guy, of course, we need to talk about is Christian McCaffrey. I've seen draft boards with him possibly going to the Patriots. I mean, at this point, I feel like that's kind of redundant. Why, continue to make a great team even greater? But, how'd his combine go, and do you think he would fall all the way to when New England finally gets a shot to pick up a player?
From all the reports and his testing numbers, everything went very well for McCaffrey. And he's just going to flat out make a team better because of his versatility. And that versatility is why he's always been connected to the Patriots. As the fit goes, it's a perfect one. But James White is already there. And he showed last year, during the Super Bowl especially, how valuable he is. And as long as they re-sign LeGarrette Blount, the Patriots really just don't need another running back, especially with Deion Lewis there too. They have all of these fits. What they really need is someone like a Brandon Marshall. So the Patriots will probably have a chance to get McCaffrey with the last pick in the first round, but I don't think that that's somewhere they want to go.
Talking with David Kenyon of Bleacher Report here on the Morning Brew with Baxter and Jaymee. Free agency, of course, is a big thing right now, David. Thursday is going to be very telling. So many teams jump on the NFL free agent market as soon as it opens, and people think, I've got to get all my deals done right now. But, of course, the names that people really care about is, Adrian Peterson, Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, as you previously mentioned as well, too. Are we going to see landing spots for them on day one, or are we going to have to wait a little while for deals to get struck?
I would think that depends on the bidding wars. There's a lot of work being done behind the scenes, as not quite tampering, but just ground floor discussions, if you want to call it that. And there are base numbers that teams know that they're going to have to reach, and someone like Alshon Jeffrey has been considering this for a while, so it would make sense if he lands somewhere very quickly. I think the Tennessee Titans would be a great fit for him. Mariota, as long as he's healthy by the beginning of the season, the Titans could be a real playoff contender next year.
Where do you think that Romo or Cutler are going? You think they're just going to take a vacation?
They haven't been cut yet. Maybe they should go run the 40 and win an island. I'm sure Jay Cutler would be like, yeah, that'd be
His
great.
wife wouldn't mind it either, I'm sure.
Well, Cutler can probably buy an island very
true.
nice.
That's true,
But,
to that last contract.
Yeah, Baxter, as you mentioned, they haven't been cut, but if and theoretically when they do, the thing that concerns me with both of them is they seem to really have very specific spots that they should go, or otherwise won't really be signed for the market that they could command. Tony Romo, I think he would be a great fit with Denver. I like Paxton Lynch. I just think he's a developmental prospect. I am not a fan of Trevor Siemian.
Oh, interesting.
So I think if you go with Romo and you let Lynch sit for another year, maybe two, I think that'd be really good for the Broncos, especially while they still have this defense and it gets even pricier. I think that's a Super Bowl contender again. And Cutler, it's just I like Cutler as a top 20, top 25 quarterback. You're not going to win with him, but you're not going to lose. So
too terribly, yeah.
There's a tough dilemma right there where, like, he's not going to make you a Super Bowl contender, but, I mean, the Browns probably don't want him, but he would make the Browns like a 9-7 team, so there is value in Cutler.
That's too good.
So
it's far too good to be a Browns player.
Right. So the Jets make a lot of sense for him on a short-term deal.
Fair enough. Well, David Kenyon, always a pleasure, sir. We hope to have you back on the program soon. Before we let you run, where can people find your writing and find you on social media as well, too, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Kenyon _ wow, I don't even remember. At Kenyon,
Who am I? I don't know.
19_BR. And then you can follow all my work at Bleacher Report and any other sites that are linked in my bio.
Perfect, David. Pleasure, sir. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Thank you.
All right, there goes David Kenyon of Bleacher Report on the Morning Brew. Great to hear his insight, Jamie, about the sports world. And, of course, the ever debacle of Tony Romo and Jay Cutler, Adrian Peterson, all that fun stuff. But, I mean, we've talked about this on the show before, too. I mean, I don't necessarily know if either of those guys are going to go anywhere sufficient, but do you give any sort of validity to the comments that he was making about, you know, those guys possibly leaving?
I mean, from what I've read up on and what I've seen, like Romo to Denver, makes sense.
Yeah,
because he's a good luck Chuck. As far as Cutler,
yeah, you try not to read into it too much,
right.
I guess.
I am a fan that he just admitted to being a bandwagon. I like when people admit to
bandwagoning is not the worst thing.
No, but no one wants to ever admit that they're a bandwagoner.
I suppose so. We've had some bandwagon teams, at least in the NFL, over the last couple of years, which has been kind of funny to review. A couple of comments here on Facebook. Liz says, "Wow, so fast," talking about John Ross running his 4.2. Ian says he ran too fast. He apparently appeared to injure himself when he finished his 40-yard dash. I didn't realize that. Ian also says, "Go Big Blue," of course. And then Liz says, "Good insights, David," as well, too. Yes, David Kenyon, a very good friend of the program, somebody I've had the pleasure of working with for a very long time. And we look forward to getting his insights and exciting analysis on the sports world back on the program again soon. Jamie, you look at the sports world, you look at the one sport that has tried to make a bigger push in the media I'd say maybe in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's UFC.
Correct.
You know, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Miesha Tate.
Yeah.
And I'm out of my UFC fighters that I know. No, I probably could think of like one or two more. I would know the names. I would know Nate Diaz, of course. Okay. Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz. That was a big fight.
There was a fight this weekend.
UFC 209. I know that took place this weekend, but that's really the extent of it. And that's not to say that I'm a big UFC fan. I'm not, but that kind of still speaks to it's such a niche sport as well too. I mean, we could probably play the same game if I was like, "Did you watch the MLS games this weekend, Jamie?" You'd
be like, "What's the MLS?"
ML what? The mortgage loan services? What? Like, it's. I understand. But you yourself brought up a very good point off air about the UFC and something you wanted to share as well too about what's going on with the state of it.
I understand the hype behind it all, right? Like you said, it's a little it's a niche. Like some people really enjoy it, and some people don't understand the purpose of beating the crap out of each other.
But you get paid so much money.
Which is the problem right now. Not that they get paid a lot of money; they should. They're athletes. They train very hard. They deserve to make the money they make. But everybody is so interested in just making money. Everyone wants a second fight. Everyone wants that big shot. They're dropping weight. Everyone, drops weight. But drastically dropping weight or gaining weight or jumping a weight class and not even fitting into it normally.
What do you feel about the whole jumping weight class thing? I've always found that strange. I'm like, look, when you determine that you're going to be a 135, you're going to be a 142, like, stay in your weight.
Right, and everyone's like, well, they're fighting someone that's heavier than them, but they're still littler and quicker and more agile, and I don't understand why people can't just be like, I am a welterweight, I'm going to stay there and fight other welterweights. And then everyone drops down because they want the money, they want the title or whatever it is.
Of course.
Which I get, but do it in your own way. Like, bust your butt fighting people who also bust their butts to weigh 135 pounds or whatever it may be.
And some people are different too. I mean, and people make fun of me, not that I'm a UFC fighter, but I weigh 162 pounds. I've gone between 160 and 165 pounds for the last decade, basically. Like, for some people, it's easier to gain weight or get more muscle or whatever. Like, I've tried all the different things that you can do to, like, get bigger, and I just 165, 166 seems to be where I top out when I've got 12 layers of clothes on soaking wet, basically, you know. There's just not a lot. Yeah, exactly. There's just not a lot to me, you know, upper body-wise. Like, I've got strong legs, all that fun business, but to be a UFC fighter, you have to be able to deliver those blows. You have to be strong to hold on to your people. And it's interesting just to see that the rigorous things that these guys and gals go through. I've always been curious, too, because I've never asked this to a female. What do you think of the females fighting? The Ronda Rouseys, the Holly Holmes, because, I mean, that's nothing against these ladies. I would never, ever want to challenge these ladies or even question what they're doing.
Right.
But because you can't kill me, for the most part, maybe you can, I don't know, I'm going to ask you, do you find it interesting or offensive to see women fighting each other in a public setting where people are jeering them on, being like, yeah, kill each other?
No, I think that they're great. I think the only issue I have with women fighting in the UFC is I think they have like 1 or 2 weight classes right now.
I think something like that,
like,
yeah.
I literally could never be a UFC fighter because I would never weigh, I think it's like 125, never in my entire life. I would have to, like, stop eating for 6 months. So it's interesting to me that it's like this small spectrum of women that are allowed in the UFC. Like, someone wants to fight at my weight class, I'll try. They'll probably murder me.
Yeah.
But that's the only issue. I think women fighting is cool.
Okay. I've always just been curious, honestly. I have yet to meet there's a couple of people that I know that live out in the Vegas area that cover UFC, that do a fantastic job of it, that are females, but I've just never had the opportunity to ask a fellow female, being like, all right, how do you actually view this? Because some people are like, I think it's disgusting, you know, like, women shouldn't be putting on display like this. They make them basically wear next to nothing.
But you could say the same thing about a guy. Like, no, like, fighting, like, but I think...
Yes and no, though, because men have been fighting since the dawn of time. You know?
And that's like the whole... Okay, so when you go out, right, and there's a bar fight or a fight in the streets, like, it's not nice to see girls fight. And guys, it's whatever, because it happens all the time.
It does.
So, but they're not scrappy fighting because someone looked at their man or whatever.
You're not beating, Shaniqua with your purse, basically. You're like, no, listen, Ronda.
Right, you're not ripping anybody's hair out. Like, you and Ronda trained to fight. Yeah. And that's okay, like, because they pour everything they have into it. And then, and people are like, they look bad, like, they're too buff, like, who cares? It's not your decision.
That's true. It's not your body.
Like, Ronda Rousey looks good in her sports bra and her shorts. I think she does. Holly Holm looks great.
Yeah. I honestly, that's the funny thing, too. Like, I know some of these gals get, like, do the cornrows or, like, do the weird thing with their hair or whatever. Like, okay, you do what you got to do. If you're a female, I can't imagine having as much hair as you do. This amount of hair annoys me.
Yeah, this is annoying.
I need to go get a haircut because it's touching my ears, and I'm like, get off my ears! Like... I'm a little schizo when it comes to my hair some days, okay? That's fun fact if you didn't know that. You can ask my wife. I'm like, Liz, it's been 4 weeks. She's like, you don't need a haircut. I'm like, look at this hair.
Does this come into, like, your Lent thing? Like, are you allowed to get a haircut?
I asked her. Thank you. I asked her about that. Funny fact. Were you at my house? That's weird. I asked her the other day. I was like, sweetheart, I need to ask you about if you haven't known, my wife and I gave up extras for Lent. If it's outside of bills, gas, groceries, we're trying not to spend money on it. And I said, okay, how does this work? Because I honestly can't wait another 40 days. I'm going to be a bushy afro
you look
mess.
Like this.
My hair would look like Jaymee. I'm going to need to get photoshopped with long hair, basically, by the time Lent is over if I don't get a haircut. And she's like, well, it makes sense that you can get a haircut because you are on TV daily and you have to keep up your professional appearance. She's like, that makes sense. So she's like, yes, you can obviously get a haircut. I'm like, okay, I was like, I thought so, but I'm like, I need to justify and have this two-way communication with my wife, of course. And she's like, no, I think that makes sense. So get a haircut. I'm like, whew. Okay.
But now are you allowed to splurge? Like, can you go to some fancy place where they rub your head real nice? Because that's what I like to do.
Well, shout out to Sport Clips. That's where I go.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact.
Is that where they wear like the
referee thing? Yeah. And they're like, welcome to Sport Clips. It's always strange. There's like 3 people. It's like almost like, I don't know. We don't have Moe's Burritos up here, but you walk into a place in Florida and it's like, welcome to Moe's. Like everybody like shouts at the top of their basically. So it's like, welcome to Sport Clips. You're like, ha, okay, thank you. Good Lord, why are you yelling at me? I just want a haircut. But do you ever? And I don't. Never mind. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna move on for no. Actually, I'm gonna ask you this for 2 seconds because you're a woman as well, and you've gotten your hair done as well too. Is there a more awkward time in your life than when you sit in that chair and that person who you have no idea who they are starts asking you about your life? Do you not feel like you're on trial?
No.
And like, what do you do?
I feel like,
what are you going to do?
But it's probably
How was your weekend?
I'm used to it. Like I bartend, so people.
I suppose people are just coming up to you and be like, "Hey, how's your week been?"
Hey, Shaq.
Yeah. Hey, girl. What up?
Hey, Shaq. No, I don't. You want to ask me about my weekend? I'm going to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. And probably because I'm a super talkative person.
Well, that makes sense.
Doesn't. Yeah. And I know they're going to scratch my head later, which I'm all about. So.
Even while you're bartending? Be like, here's a tip. Like, thank you.
If they were like, I don't want to tip you, but I'll give you a bomb head massage, I'd be like, okay.
Right.
What do you want? Captain and Coke? I got you.
Top rail? I got you.
Yeah.
No. Have you ever, never, I keep hearing all these tangents and I'm like, ask this, that'd be a funny thing. But I'm like, I'm going to move on from this. So I'm just curious because sometimes like.
Do you think it's awkward?
I don't have a problem with it unless the person that I am getting a haircut from is super awkward.
I think it's more awkward if they don't ask you because then you're just sitting there.
Well, I mean, Sports Clip has the TVs on. So you're watching the game.
I don't go to Sports Clips often.
Obviously. It's not really many women that go there. So, yeah. Robert on Facebook says he'd like a Miller Lite times 2, please, apparently. So since you're apparently tossing out the drinks already. Appreciate
Bottle
it,
or draft.
Robert. Yeah, exactly. Bottle or draft. Liz says our whole life is sports. Everywhere we get, even when he gets his haircut. That's true. It is very true. And I don't mind that. I think sports is a wonderful thing. People, I think, sometimes forget that, sports is all over the place. Hence why we're doing this. But, yeah, to go all the way back to the UFC thing, Jamie, I think that the fact that women don't necessarily feel as crazy about it with the UFC fighting, with the image that it comes off with. Some women might be like, I would never. Well, yeah, of course. That's why you are not doing it.
Right.
That's why you are not getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go fight in an octagon for 20 minutes kind of a thing. Totally get that. Everybody's, opinion is different, basically.
Right. And is it cute? No. But they're not doing it to be cute. Like, they are doing it because they're passionate. They're obviously good at it.
Yes.
They're not doing it for anybody else's opinion either. Like,
Exactly.
these women, like, do not give a crap.
You're right.
About what Joe from...
Because they know that they can murder Joe and put him in a
Right,
headlock
from
and
Waukesha.
TKO.
They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, Joe from Waukesha. Coming for you.
They don't care.
I'm sure Joe's a nice fellow.
He might be.
Robert says you'd like a draft, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Fun
I got
fact.
you, Robert.
Come on by the Bruce Sports bar and pub and studio. We have a multi-dimensional area here, basically. People have said, they're like, why do you and Jamie not drink on the morning show?
I was wondering the same thing. Thank you, everybody.
Tanner takes way too many liberties, I feel like.
This guy.
He's just throwing beers back like it's water. I have coffee because I woke up late this morning, which happens,
Yeah.
of course. But Liz on Facebook says they are fierce. Anything men can do, women can do. Hashtag women power, I guess. Liz also said, who runs the world? Girls! Who runs the girl? World!
Shout out to my girl, Beyonce.
Yeah, and Rachel Wood apparently as well, too, one of our women's soccer correspondents. That's her. People ask for walk-up songs when they come on shows. They're like, when I come on the show, can you introduce me with this song? I'm like, who do you think this is? This isn't Major League Baseball. We can't just play you on and then play you off. But, I mean, we can, but we choose not to some days. But true, shout out. Whoop, whoop. All right, the weekend that was, the Monday Mixer. What's your favorite mixed drink, by the way? Fun fact, out of curiosity, since it is the Monday Mixer.
It depends. If a bar has Diet Coke, not Diet Pepsi, I'll do a whiskey diet. Otherwise, I'm a big vodka press girl.
Vodka what?
Press.
What's press?
So it's half seltzer, half Sprite. It's
Sounds
not
complicated.
It's not sweet. It's like.
Huh.
Kinda
Are you a
sweet.
sweeter, or are you like a dry, or are you like a
I'm
give
like
me
I'll just chug some Irish whiskey.
Wow, you're that kind of girl.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not into Moscatos. I'm not into.
Listen, I've moved away from the Moscatos. People think I'm addicted to sugar. That's not the case. Have you seen this body? Not addicted to sugar.
Addicted to sugar. He just has a great metabolism.
Also true. No, I was just curious. Brew on Facebook says, "What's your walk-up song, guys?" So if you had to get announced, that's a very good question. I really like "Hero" by Skillet. I think it's got a cool little intro. The guitar. I don't. For those of you that maybe know the song "Hero" by Skillet. Well, it's
or like a.
It's like this really hard like rocking guitar, like if you're like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really kind of, it's not like screaming, but like it's really cool. I think you go YouTube it, Google it, Spotify it, whatever streaming service you do that and do "Hero" Skillet. Brew, I want to know your walk-up song since you asked me, but Jamie, I bought you enough time now with my long-winded explanation of what thing I like.
I've been thinking this whole time too. Like something by Ludacris. I love Ludacris.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't know
I don't,
nothing?
No, something by Ludacris.
Something by Ludacris.
Yeah.
I feel like, but Ludacris has got such a wide variety of stuff that he does.
Yeah, but he's so like, like in your face.
I want to spit some raw.
Yeah.
Thing. Okay.
I'd be like, yes, Luda.
Think about.
I feel you.
Think about your walk-up song, guys. If you have a walk-up song, comment below on Facebook. We want to know what your walk-up song is, since Brew is now sponsored, not sponsored.
Brew, what's your walk-up song?
I'm asking. I'm waiting for him to get back at us here. He says mine is "Party in the USA." My girl Miley. Before she went
She's
crazy.
normal now. She's normal now.
Is she though? People are like,
They're
well,
engaged.
people are like, Britney's normal again too after she got her hair cut.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Was awkward with her baby.
She's probably.
Is she normal?
Miley, she's probably normal.
Robert on Facebook
Publicity.
says, "Welcome to the jungle." I think that's a classic one.
Yeah.
That's
Be a little more not basic.
Welcome to the jungle.
Robert.
How about
Miller
London
Lite.
London Bridge by Fergie? The clean version of
Lundy Bridge.
Yes, exactly. Oh, snap. Yeah, like that, like yeah. I feel like we need producers putting this stuff through the feed here as we're doing this. Liz says that she knows that I love a good honey or a good Tennessee honey whiskey with Coke. I'm all about that life. Definitely been there. Robert apparently says we've all been there, Brittany. I don't know what that means. Robert, have you cut your hair awkwardly while holding a child, or what exactly does that mean?
The 2007 Crazy Britney.
We've all been there, apparently. Yeah, what are you going to do, I guess? But the weekend that was, though, in the sports world, so now that we're in our Monday mixer, as we get ready to wrap up the show here in just a little bit, remember, if you've missed any of the show, you can catch it back here on demand on Facebook. Our website is actually in the process of finalizing today, so you'll be able to go to brewsportsnet.com to check all that information out as well, too. Get to find out more about all of our awesome hosts, catch the shows on demand. You can also find the shows on demand as well by going to Spreaker.com as well, too, and listen just to the shows as well, depending on how you consume your media. Robert also says future and then hashtag breakdown as well, too. So he's apparently losing his mind over there. Apologies, Robert. Talk to somebody. There are people there for you. Anyway. So the sports world this last weekend, UNC versus Duke was a big one. We already heard about the whole ceiling is the roof business. We know that there was a lot of conference tournaments that took place as well, too. My FGCU back down in the great state of Florida won their conference over the University of Northern Florida. Woo, woo, go Eagles. I don't care. But they're like 20 minutes from my house, so you got to say represent. I've got friends that go to FGCU, so Marcella,
they don't have a lazy river.
Shout you up. They don't. It's interesting that you mentioned that as well, too. If you guys haven't seen it, you can actually find it below this video on the Facebook timeline here, basically, of the segment Jamie and I talked about the UFC Lazy River. Threw some cool graphics in there, did some crazy fun stuff with it.
Blew my mind. It might blow yours. Yeah. I was like, who did this?
Yeah. What you doing, boy?
This is neat.
Neat?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know. I like that word.
It's like when you say someo's got a great personality. Like, you're neat. It's like, you actually hate me. Thank you.
I think it's neat. I'm serious. Actually neat. It's cool. You
Fair
look
enough.
at it.
Okay. Well, I believe you. No, that's I don't know what to say to that, honestly. So, yeah, but the weekend as a whole, I mean, Major League Soccer opened up as well, too. A lot of exciting games taking place over there. Both.
So exciting.
I know. You're just like, what? I can't believe it.
Soccer?
I love soccer. I love soccer. I do. She doesn't. What happened in the hockey world over the weekend? Anything good happen? PK Subban get more tributes?
No, I cannot.
The Capitals shut anybody out? Did the Avalanche win a game? I don't think so.
I looked up they've won like 13 games.
They're pitiful.
That's
I'm not a hockey fan,
embarrassing.
and I know the Avalanche suck.
Yeah. Nope. Nothing too exciting except for I cannot remember his name, but someone from the Red Wings. Oh, someone help me out, like Google. I cannot think of his name
Google
for the life of me. Has not made a goal all season long.
Ever.
Takes a slap shot, whatever, shoots a puck, nails his coach right in the forehead, right in the temple, splits it right open. Like, hasn't made it in the net, but nailed his coach
Like
right in the face.
Open, busted wide open kind of thing. Like never mind. You don't even know that song? I can't be more ghetto than you, Jamie. That's not cool. I will not stand for that. But that's, if you're having a bad Monday, just think you could have shot a puck into your boss's head.
Or you could have just tried to rap like Baxter.
Anything is possible. One of the things that I thought was really cool, Calgary did something pretty neat. There was an 11-year-old blind Flames fan that got to see the game for the very first time. Olivia was declared legally blind at a very young age, but now, thanks to a pair of electronic glasses from eSight, she was able to see her favorite team play for the first time.
I think hockey, okay, everyone, if you don't know this, hockey is by far my favorite sport.
Show your thing there. Milwaukee Admirals
Go
represent.
Admirals. But they are so good in the community, like hockey players and the NHL in general, or the AHL or whatever. Like, you hear all of these great stories all of the time.
They do. I think hockey does a phenomenal job of their, like, pregame and whatever postgame shenanigans.
Even, like, in February is, like, Hockey is for Everyone month.
Yeah.
Like, they do a phenomenal job of being inclusive and...
Can't we be friends?
Yeah, they just want everyone... And, like, you don't think that because they fight each other and they're missing parts of their face and whatever, but, like... They're so good.
I agree. I have a very important question for you. Jeff on Facebook asks, he says, so who's filling in for Jamie on Wednesday on National Women's Day?
Do I get off?
I don't know. Apparently Jeff thinks you do.
Jeff, my guy.
Apparently.
Oh, thanks, Liz, for telling me
We'll
who
have
it
to talk
was.
about that. So Riley Sheehan is the Red Wings player. Robert says future March Madness is not... so basic walk-up song, apparently.
Yeah, but what else did you say that was? Welcome to the Jungle. That's basic,
Welcome to the
Robert.
Jungle. Yeah, and then Robert says he likes the Phoenix Roadrunners as well, too.
Oh, they're new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I don't follow, like, the lower tiers of hockey.
Robert, where are you from?
Somebody hit up Robert. Robert, identify yourself. Louisiana.
Yeah, you don't have hockey there.
True not. Liz also says women don't take the day off. We run the world.
Girls.
Woo! I see you, Liz. So maybe I'll take the day off on National Women's Day.
Maybe Liz can
you
come
and Liz
here.
should come co-host.
Yes.
I like
Liz?
it. Come on
You in?
Liz and Jamie, you guys are going to host. Robert says he's in Arizona.
Well, that's not what your Facebook says, Robert.
Oh, now he's saying Louisiana. Robert, make up your mind. Where are you from? You can't be in Arizona and Louisiana at the same time. This isn't Doctor Who. You can't teleport.
Oh, a day without women. I'll sleep in.
Day without women. Is that like the day without Latinos that we had here in Milwaukee as well?
Yeah.
A couple
Jeff,
weeks
you'll
ago?
miss me on Wednesday when I'm not here.
That's the thing, guys. Don't tell her to not come in. I need her to be here. So, but I mean, I guess you do have a built-in excuse. They'll be like, "I'm a woman. You don't need me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my own thing."
You do need me, though.
But apparently, I don't.
Right.
Because it's a day without women. So what do we do?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You can make me coffee on Wednesday.
Sure. Yeah, you made me coffee this morning as I was setting up. I appreciate that. You're very helpful. But yeah, I think hockey's done a stellar job, honestly, of their promotions. Minor league baseball, I think, does a really good job of that as well, too. The NFL always, and this is nothing against the NFL, but do people get tired of the bringing the soldiers home thing? I feel bad saying that, but like I feel like that's the easiest cop-out, get you in the feels. It's like, his brother was deployed in Afghanistan for 20 years. Now he's home. Like, please welcome.
Surprise!
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's beautiful. I would be on the ground bawling like a little girl if that was me.
But I understand.
I feel like it's almost overdone.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
Is there
when
other
I
things
see
like
Welcome Home,
a hockey fan that has never seen
Right.
giving her a pair of glasses to watch a game? What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
That's something that little girl's going to always remember.
Yeah,
Are you
because she
gonna-
saw for the first time.
Yeah.
And okay, I have like my brothers are both ex-Marines. Like welcome homing, anything is great. But I definitely agree with you. Super, super overdone.
Yeah.
Like every welcome home video, what gets me is when a man walks through the door of his mother's house and she bawls. That is exciting to me.
Yes.
Not the whole.
That's the feels.
It's kind of like proposals. That people that propose on the Jumbotron, like, be more original, please.
Yeah, like, here I am in front of 60,000 fans because if you say no, you're going to look like the bad
Right.
person, not me.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
it's a good, if you're
Don't
super
do that.
insecure. That makes sense.
Yeah, if my future husband is watching this right now, please do not propose to me on a Jumbotron. I will say no and walk away. Yeah. I'll chug my Miller Lite, and then I'll walk away. And no.
You're assuming you're going to have a Miller in your hand at that point.
I probably will.
Is that your go-to?
No.
Then why are you going to be drinking a Miller Lite?
Because it's probably in every arena everywhere.
It's true.
Or Bud Light.
Or Bud.
I prefer.
Bud Light is nasty.
Yeah, I'd prefer Miller Lite.
I don't know. I don't
Noted.
know. I didn't get to see what Robert said, but he said the Super Bowl thing they did was awesome. I don't know what they did during the Super Bowl.
Me either.
Liz says Jeff will really miss you, Jaymee. Jeff is apparently saying that he's trying to justify the fact he's like, to show how much women work, they are needed and they're supposed to skip work during the day. So apparently you are so needed and so vital to what Bruce Sports does that you should skip work, Jaymee.
Ooh.
I don't know. Bill apparently on Facebook now says, please don't say no, Jaymee. So now you've got two different suitors. We've got our own version of The Bachelorette happening between Robert and Bill now. They are both, we have come down to the final rose. Who will it be?
Who's taller?
Who's taller? Well, I know Bill. Bill is, he played college football, so he's a pretty tall gentleman. Bill, is that your proposal? Now your father's chiming in as well, too. He says, Miller Lite daughter like father. Okay.
Dad, no.
So now your father's mixed in. Now, so Bill and Robert, her father is now on the stream as well, too. So here we are. We're on hometowns now as well. So introduce yourself. Tell her father, basically. We are matchmaking for Jaymee as we speak.
Dad, go back to work.
With the last couple of minutes we have on the show here, basically, we are trying to... You're getting a ton of hearts on Facebook now, too. People are loving this. But so the ball is really in your courts now, Bill and Robert. I mean, you have Jamie's father now watching the stream. If you would like to submit your proposals for why you would be the best man to woo his daughter. Jaymee just wants to be done.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Who knew this is how the show was going to go today? It's a Monday. Jamie's actually crying because she's just so ecstatic that she has two men vying for her heart at one time. And her dad's watching to make it even more special.
Sorry. I'll get it together.
You need a moment?
No, I'm good. Oh, man.
Do we need to cut to a different camera so you can just take a moment? I can just look at myself for a hot moment. Hey, how's it going? All right, there we go. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We should probably wrap up the show here at some point, Jaymee. We've talked about all different kinds of things today. A special thanks to David Kenyon of Bleacher Report for joining us to talk about the NFL Combine and talk about NFL free agency as well, too. We had some good chats about the UFC.
Do you have a real job?
Let's see. Your dad is asking if you have a real job. There's so many good things going on right now. Bill is... I was hoping Bill was going to give us a little bit more here, basically. Oh, he says, I'll come in one morning and we can do it officially. Oh, interesting. So Bill's going to come by. Robert says, oh, nice to meet you, Ken. Jeff says the show's not a week old and it's already turned into the dating game. Yes.
Remember those things on MTV? It was like you got like 3 contestants.
Was it Next?
A wall.
Oh, no, that was a different thing. That was a different thing on MTV.
Or Room Raiders.
I didn't see.
What?
No.
You could get to go in their rooms and like be like, look at this coffee mug. It says, love yourself. Loves himself. I don't know.
No, I didn't.
You never saw Room Raiders?
No, I would watch Next. Did you watch Next?
Next.
It was like a bus of like whatever 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, and the guys would like walk out.
Walk off, and it'd be like you'd get the first next, and then you have to go right back on, and then you're like, oh, okay, I like you. I'll take you on a date.
I'm pretty sure that was the same time that Room Raiders was on.
It probably was. MTV has fallen from grace.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to just play music on MTV?
Remember TRL? That was my jam.
I never saw TRL. What was TRL? I saw.
It was like music.
I saw Sweet 16. Like my Super Sweet 16 kind of thing.
I never got a Sweet 16.
Yeah. Tanner wants to know what he missed. Tanner,
should have woke up earlier.
Tanner, there's been a lot that's happened. Jaymee, why don't you recap for us here before we jump off
I'm basically
here.
finding love on Bruce Sports.
So it's transitioned very quickly. We talked about losing islands. We talked about Tebow, which Tiffany and Ian and everybody were like, woo, Tebow. We had David Kenyon on from Bleacher Report to talk about the Combine and NFL free agency. We talked about UFC. We talked about A Day Without Women. We talked about hockey doing some bomb-ass promotions that they do, and suddenly it just completely transitioned into Jaymee finding love, basically.
We did talk about sports today. We did.
Yeah. Apparently, Liz is asking Tanner if he would like to put in a proposal request as well, too, for you. Tanner is happily taken, Liz.
Yeah.
Stop trying to pawn him off on another woman. I mean, Jamie's wonderful, but come on.
Tanner's not tall enough anyways.
There's a height. Okay, there we go. There's a height limit.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to ask you, what do you want in a man? He's got all these proposals just getting rained down on you.
Yeah. What about me?
Yeah, what do you want? Height, they've got to at least be 6 feet or higher.
Yeah. That's where it starts. That's like
we'll start there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get next them.
Right.
So if you're not 6 feet or taller,
please stop commenting.
Please stop commenting. Please stop watching. Please unfollow Brew Sports. No, please don't do that. Please keep sharing until we find the proper 6-footer. I don't know. Robert says this height thing again. So maybe, I don't know. So many requirements, trust me. Gretchen, we're gonna feel like we're gonna have to have correspondence on just for Jamie's love life. I feel like just to kind of hash this out. So all right. I really don't want to go, but I think we need to, unfortunately, because we are almost at the end of our time. Special thanks to everybody that commented on Facebook. Robert says he's 5'11" and 3/4.
Ooh, me too. We're the same.
So would that be acceptable? Did Robert at least make it past the first step?
Step 1, check.
There you go, Robert. You have figured it out. Let's
Bill,
get
you
the
don't
list.
want my list. You don't.
I think we need to we have a minute. Fire off a couple of things for us, fast.
All right.
You have possible suitors watching. We have the technology to film Bachelorette Milwaukee.
How did this turn into this? I would like someone to be tall. I don't know.
You don't know what you want?
I do.
Good with
that
kids?
That sounds superficial.
Gretchen says you don't want it. Okay.
You don't. I'm going to sound so superficial.
Tanner's throwing a diamond emoji at you. I don't know what that means.
Me either. I like nice people.
Vague.
Honestly,
do you like neat people?
Do you want the honest truth?
Yes. What do you want?
I like douchebags. You knew this.
Yeah, I knew that. I was hoping you would just
I can't
get away from that.
When people ask me, what do you like? Douchebags.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Liz says we don't have time for this. I agree with you, Liz. Tanner says he's 5'11". That's close enough, apparently. Holy crap. What a show. Who knew Monday was going to start like this, honestly? Special thanks to David Kenyon at Bleacher Report for joining us. You can follow the show on Facebook, of course, Brew Sports. Next show coming up today will be Halftime with myself and apparently Tanner Burke, who's trying to also propose to Jamie as well. That show's at 11 a.m. Central Time, live right here on Brew Sports. At Brew Sportsnet on Facebook, at Brew Sports on Instagram, at Baxter Colburn on Twitter, Jamie_Ebers on Twitter there. Hashtag Brew Sports on Twitter and Facebook as well, too. She's Jamie. I'm Baxter.
And I'm single.
Who knows what tomorrow's going to bring next week on Morning Brew, the most drama-filled episode yet. No, I tried to do my best, Chris Harrison. Anyway, she's Jamie. I'm Baxter. Thanks so much for watching the Morning Brew. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back here at 11 for halftime, and we'll see you back here on the Morning Brew tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Time live on Facebook. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. It's Monday. Get excited. Woohoo!